let's go to landing pages. So how do we create a landing page in Brevo? So what is landing pages? Landing pages are just like a standalone web form to that are created to achieve specific marketing goal. So you can use it to capture leads. Use it to promote. You can use it to promote whatever offer you want to use, and you can use it for maybe if you have a course, you can allow people to sign up for a free course or download a free ebook or register for a webinar or join a mailing list, whichever one you want. Let's create a landing page. So you are going to go into your Brevo account and you are going to click on landing page. And when you click on landing page, it's going to show you this page if you have not created any landing page. And please note that the plan that you can create landing page is on the marketing plan. On the business plan, and that is like the monthly should be, I think, $18. Yeah. Yeah, the monthly plan is $18, and that is the plan I am currently on. So you cannot build a landing page on the free plan or on the starter plan. You need to upgrade to the business plan for you to be able to create a landing page. So when you go back to your landing page in Brevo and you click on create a landing page, so this is going to take you to the part where it is going to ask you if you want to pick a particular template or if you want to start from scratch. So you can pick any of these pre-made templates from Brevo, and you can be able to edit it to whatever you want. And you can remember that you can remove or you can add whatever elements you want to add to all of these landing pages. They actually have a lot of nice they have a lot of nice templates which you might want to check out. They have the one for downloads, and they have the one for the guide download. You can use that one for your ebook download. So you can pick any of these templates, and before you can select it, you can also preview to see if it is something you want to use. So when you preview this template and you see that you can work with it, you can just check it to the end and see if it is a template you want to work with. And if it is a template you want to work with, you just click on use template, um, and it's going to go to the page editor. But I want to start from scratch actually, just to show you how to add in all of these elements from scratch. So we're going to click on that, and we are starting from scratch. So I'm going to click on get started, and it is going to take me to this editor page where I can be able to add in different elements. And before I add in different elements, it is asking me to set up my new page preference. And what this is that it wants me to add things like my logo, like my brand colors, like my favicon, and even if I have a tracking code, I can also add it, and also the chart widget on my landing page. So you can start from the beginning. What is the name of the landing page? You had the name over here. So let's just make this download free ebook here. So that is the name of the landing page. You can also, I've already added some brand colors here. You can also decide to add whichever brand color is it you are using. You can add the color code in here if you have the color code, or you can be able to pick the different colors that they have. So when you pick whatever color it is you want to add, you just click on save. And if you do not want it, you can click on delete or cancel. So for your text, you have the title and you have the color for your title. You can decide to change that to whatever color is it you want to add. You can also change the font of the title. You can change the font of, so let's just change it to, let's change it to this, and you can change the font and the color code of your subtitle, your heading, and all of this. You can even do that for your normal text. So you can add a new color for your normal text, and you can also change the font size, and you can change the font of the normal text. So after you have added that, you can go to the next step, which is to edit your button. So the next step is to edit your button. You can decide to change the color code of your button and just change it to whatever color it is you want. So when you click on the color, it is going to change this color, and you can also decide to edit your font for your button. So that means instead of using this font, you can pick another font if you want, and you can just pick whatever font is it you want to add for your button. So the next one will be um, to add for your links. So you can decide to change the color for your link. So if there's going to be any link on your landing page, this is going to be the color of the link, which is this blue. And when they hover on that link, it is going to change to this blue. And if a visitor has clicked on um if a visitor has clicked on that link before on your landing page, the link is going to change to this color orange. So you want to make sure you pick the color that is suitable to your brand, and you adjust all of this color to make sure that it is fitting to your brand. So you can also decide to change your logo. So I'm just going to select a random logo from my computer. I'm just going to select a random logo on my computer, and when I click on open, it is going to bring the image here, and you can decide to replace your brand logo if you want. Also, you can decide that you want to change your favicon, and favicon means the little icon that used to show up on your browser page. So for instance, take a look at this Brevo tab, or this one. As you can see, the little b, that is the favicon of the Brevo site. You can also decide to add in a URL to your favicon if you want to add a favicon, and you can also add in a tracking code if you have any tracking code, maybe from your Google Analytics or wherever it's coming from. You can also decide to add that um in the head tag. You can also add a chat widget, and the chat widget is going to show up on your landing page, where people can be able to click on that chat widget and they can be able to send you messages. And you can decide to turn this on, or you can decide to turn this off, whichever one suits you. So after you have done with all of the settings and you are sure that you've added all of the brand assets you are supposed to add, you are going to click on save my preference. You're going to click on done. So after clicking on done, it is going to adjust everything that you're going to be adding on this site. And let's start with the left hand side. On the left hand side, we have a place called section, and in this section you can be able to add the different pre-made sections by Brevo. So they have pre-made designs already, which you can drag and drop into the editor. As you can see, they have some nice elements in here, so you can decide to just pick any section and just drag and drop it in. So let's say you want to pick this element, you can just click on add this section. So when you click on add this section, as you can see, it has added that section. I'm just going to delete this. Yeah, so as you can see, it has added that section in here. So you can decide to edit the text. You can decide to edit this text also and just rewrite this to whatever it is you want. You can also decide to edit this image and just change it up to whatever image you want to change it to. So when you click on the image here, you can decide if you want to remove this image or if you want to replace it. So whatever one you want to do, you can get it done. So when you go to the layout menu by the left hand side, as you can see, you will have this section already, the one we dragged in. You can decide to add another section from here. So when you click on add another section, it is going to go back to the pre-made sections by Brevo, and you can decide to add another section from that place. So when you click on add section, as you can see, it has dragged in another section which you can add. So when you add that section, you can do the same thing multiple times for the number of sections you want to add for this landing page. So on the next menu is called pages, and in your pages you can decide to add different pages for this particular landing page. So the index one is the first page which we are currently on, and we have the thank you page, And the thank you page is the one that is going to show up. Maybe when they fill the form, they can lead to the thank you page, or if they sign up to a form to get the ebook, then it can also lead to the thank you page. As you can see, we currently do not have anything on our thank you page. We will have to customize that. But let's go back to the first page we're coming from, because we are not done with that. So when you go back to that page, okay, so now that we have gone back to that page, we can decide to start adding different elements to this page. So we can say that we want to edit this text, or you can decide to remove it. You can also decide to duplicate it if you want. So let's say we want to remove this text. No, I don't want to remove it. Let's say we want to remove this text, and that has been deleted. Now for these black buttons, let's start with this. So for this, you can decide to move this whole section up, or you can decide to move this whole section down, whichever one works for you. For this section button here, you can decide to duplicate it if you want, and you can decide to swap section, and you can decide to delete it, whichever one you want to do. And for this add element, you can decide to add in all of these elements in here. So we have the container, we have the text, we have the button, we have the image, the video, then the divider, then we have the logo and the icon, and we have a form, and we have the bullet list and the code, and a countdown timer. So let's start with each of them and see how we can add each of them in this landing page. So let's start with the container. You can decide to add in a little container in here if you want. And in this container, you can be able to add in different elements into this container. So let's say you want to add in uh, an image. You can decide to add in an image into this element, and that is going to show up in this container. But since we have this main container here, we do not actually need to add in another container. So you can do this if you're adding a blank section, and you can just add in that container, then start adding all of your elements inside of that container. So I'm just going to delete this container. That is for container, and we can decide I want to add in a text, and when you drag and drop this text wherever you want this text to be, you can also edit this text. So let's say you want to add in whatever word is it you want to add. So you can decide to type in whatever it is you want to add. So for instance, this is okay, so you can add in that text if that is what you want, and you can decide that you want to put in it, and you can use all of this text customizing. So after adding a text, you can also add a button. And remember, we already customized the color code for our button. So when you drag in a button and put it wherever you want it to be, as you can see, it is showing the color of it's showing the color we added in our preference when we were starting this landing page. So when you click on this button, you can decide here to change this call to action to whatever you want. So you can decide to add this as by. Okay, so now for the button, you can decide to edit and change the name of this button to whatever you want. So I have added this as get your free ebook. You can also decide to expand this button a little bit. You can decide to drag it to wherever you want this button to be. I'm just going to put it under here. There is a button here. So I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so I'm just going to drag in this button and put it over here. Okay. Okay, so the next menu after adding the button is to add an image. So you can decide to drag this image and just drop it to wherever you want in this container, and you can decide to edit the image and add whatever images it you want to add. Okay, so when you click on the image, it is going to ask you to add image by the right hand side. And when you click on add image, it is going to ask you if you want to pick from your gallery or if you want to pick from your computer. So if you have the image in your computer already, you can just select a file from your computer and it's going to lead you to your file manager where you can be able to add whatever images it you want to add. Just going to add a random image to this landing page, and as you can see the image is loading and it is going to add that image to my landing page. So after adding that, you can decide to change it if you want. So by removing it, that means it's going to delete this image, and you can also replace it if you do not like the image you have added in. So you can also add in a alt text if you want, and you can also decide that you want the image to have a click action on the image. What will happen? So for instance, you can decide that when they click on the image, it is going to lead to a URL, or when they click on the image, it's going to lead to an anchor to another section. So whichever one you want to use, you can use it out of the two, and you can decide to resize the image if you want. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger to the original size. Yeah, you can also crop the image if you want, and you can add in some styling, and you can add in some spacing to the image if you want that. So the next element after the image is your divider. Oh, sorry, your video. So you can also decide to drag in a video. Let's just put in the video over here. So this is a video. So this is a video element, and you can decide to edit this video element too. So the thing about this video element is that you must have a link to your video. So that means you can add in a YouTube video or maybe a URL of a video, whatever it is you want to add. So I'm just going to get one of my YouTube videos which I can add in here. Okay, so I have gotten a link from my YouTube channel, and I can just paste the link over here into this landing page. So even if you have a private video or a public video, whichever one is it, you can add it to this landing page. And as you can see, the thumbnail has changed, and you can be able to add whatever video it is you want to add to this landing page. So I'm just going to delete this image, and I'm going to add this video over here. So you can add in a video to explain whatever it is your landing page is about, or you can decide to create a little video about the ebook, the free ebook you are going to get, or whatever it is you want to add. So after that, you are going to see that we have the divider. So the divider is just like a straight line which you can add to your landing page. You can decide to put it anywhere on your landing page. Let me just put it here. So as you can see, this is the divider, and you can edit this divider to whatever you want. You can make it thin, you can make it thick, and you can make it the thickest if you want. You can also adjust the color of your divider. You can use any of your brand color, and if you want another color for your divider, you can just click on add color, and you can be able to add the color code which is going to show up in that your brand asset. So you can pick any random color, or you can pick a specific color you want by using the color code. So I do not want this. I'm just going to pick one of my brand colors. So let's use this blue, or let's use this red. Yeah, as you can see, that has changed to red. And you can also decide to change the spacing if you want, the spacing and the padding. And you can go back to style, and you can make it thick if you want, and you can just make it a little bit thin if that is what you want. So let's make it a little bit thick. So you can decide to adjust this divider, and just let's drag, no, let's drag this divider and make it smaller. So you can decide to just drag and drop it wherever you want on this page. So I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Okay, so that is for the divider. And also another element you can add after the divider is your logo. So you can decide to add in a logo. And remember that in our preference, when we're building out this landing page, when we started building it out, we have the place where we can add the logo. So when you click on logo and you drag it and you drop it on your page, it is going to pick the logo that you have added from your brand preference. So you can add in the logo, and if it's you can also decide to remove the logo if you want from here, and you can decide to replace the logo if you want. So you can, let's just delete this, we do not want it. So another element you can add after your logo is you can add an icon. Let's say you are writing maybe like a text. You can decide to just drag and drop an icon in here, and you can also decide to replace this icon. If you do not want this particular icon, you can just click on replace, and it's going to show you a lot of icon from Brevo. As you can see, they have a lot. So you can pick whichever icon is it you want to use for this particular for whatever it is you want to do. So when you pick on that icon, it is going to change the icon in here in your landing page, and you can decide to resize the icon. You can make it bigger if you want, you can make it smaller if you want, and you can change the color of your icon, of the background of your icon, sorry. You can change the background of your icon to whatever it is you want, and you can also decide to change the foreground. Yeah, you can also decide to change the foreground, and that is going to be your the color of the icon. So the color of the icon can also be changed to whatever color it is you want. And also you can decide to add a border and a border color. You can also decide that you want that icon to link somewhere, or you can decide that when they click on the icon, it's going to lead to a particular section in your landing page. So whichever one it is you want to add, you are free to add that. So I'm just going to delete this because it's not needed. So after icon, we have form. And for form, you can decide to drag that form wherever it is you want that form to be. So let's say we want to add in a form here, and we want people to be able to sign up to this form to get the free ebook from us. So after dragging the form here, you can click on edit form. When you click on edit form, it's going to bring the sidebar over here where you can be able to manage everything about this form. So you are going to see the part where it is asking you to select a list folder. So the list folder is just saying that if people come into this landing page and they submit their details in this form, then they are going to be added to a particular list. So you can decide to pick which list folder you want to use. Just make sure that the list you want to add this contacts to, they are in this list folder. So you make sure to pick the correct folder. So you can pick whatever folder it is you want to add this list to, and also you can decide to add another field if you have that created already. So let's say we want to just add in your first name. You can add in the first name, and we want to remove the SMS because we feel it is not necessary. We just need their first name and their email. You can decide to rearrange this by bringing the first name up. So you have to drag this. So you have to drag this and just put it up. And as you can see, the first name is now up and the email is down. You can also decide to create You can also decide to create a new field. So let's imagine that you have a particular field you want to add to this form, but you do not currently have that in Brevo. You can just click on create another field, and you can name your field and choose the type of field you want to create. If it is a text field, if it's a number field, or whichever one it is you want to add, you can just click on that, and you can choose the category you also want to add that to. So after you choose all of this, you click on confirm, then your new field will be created. So like I said, also you can also pick from the various fields you have in Brevo already. So let's say we want to pick the last name. So I'm just going to use the last name, the first name, and the email. So I'm just going to drag this last name up. Yeah, as you can see, that has been dragged up, and we have the first name, the last name, and the email. So for this part, you can decide to manage the list. Remember that we added a folder, and remember that the folder is the one holding the different lists under that particular folder. So for the contact list you are going to see here, it is going to be for every of the leads that are in that particular folder. So I do not have any. Oh my god. So remember that we chose the particular folder in here. If you can remember, we chose the folder in here for, and we are choosing the conversation contact. And you have to make sure that the list you are picking the folder that you are picking has the correct list you want to add these people in. So let's say we are choosing conversation contact, and if you go back to your manage list, it is going to list out all of those lists under that particular folder. So I currently only have one list under that folder, so I'm just going to pick that. You can also decide to redirect them to a particular place after filling out this form. So you can decide that you want to lead them to a page in the funnel. Remember that we have different pages over here. Please do not forget that. So when you create, maybe you created a sales page, and you created a checkout page, and you created a thank you page, you can decide to lead them to a particular page in the funnel, or you can decide to link them to a URL. So when you want to link them to a URL, you have to make sure that you put in the correct URL in here. You can decide to lead them to your website even if you want. The external URL, you can decide to add your website URL, and that will be added. And you can also decide to add them to a page in the funnel. So in the page, for the pages of the funnel, you can decide to add them to a thank you page, and if you have an extra page also, you can decide to add them in there already. And for the double opt-in form, so we have two types of opt-in. Okay, so we have the single opt-in and we have the double opt-in. So let me explain what the single opt-in is. So the single opt-in is just that when they submit this form, they are added to the list. There is no confirmation sent for them to click on anything or to confirm or anything like that. And actually, the single opt-in is very fast and there is less friction. For the double opt-in form, it means that after someone has filled up the sign up form, then Brevo is going to send them a confirmation email. And when that confirmation email is sent, there is a particular link in that email that they need to click on before they can be added to our list. So the double opt-in form is very, very good if you want to reduce spam, or you want to reduce both activities and all of those things. But it is kind of a long process for most people, and these days people do not really have long attention span, so you might just want to use the single opt-in. But if you want something like a very strong list, you can use the double opt-in. So you can, when you pick the double opt-in, you can decide to choose whatever template you have created for the double opt-in. You can use the default one if you want, and if you are picking the single opt-in, you can just pick that without choosing um, any template. So you can also decide to switch up this design if you want. So there are different designs you can pick from. As you can see, we have the outline, we have the cup outline, and we have the underline, and we have the last one. So you can just pick whichever one you feel it's okay for your brand. Yeah. So after picking this, you can decide to make this form horizontal. As you can see, it dragged the label. Yeah, I do not want that. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And you can decide to add in some spacing if you want. You can decide to add in margins and paddings, and you can also add in, yeah, the form submission control. So the first control is that you are going to update every existing contact on form submission. And what this means is that if there is any existing contact in your Brevo account and they fill in this form and they have the same email, it is Brevo is not going to create a new contact. It is going to update the already existing contact in Brevo. So when you click on this, it is, you are saying that you want Brevo to update every existing contact, and you can also decide to disable capture if you want. You can also decide to disable your URL parameters on your form submission. When you go to your style, you can decide to add a border style if you want. You can add a solid, and you can also add the color code if you want, and you can increase the border weight or whatever it is you want to add. So after doing all of this and making sure that you have done the right, and just checking again to make sure that you have picked all the right options, you can then decide to preview your form. Please make sure to preview your form to check how it is going to look like both on desktop and on mobile, because it is, as you can see, it is some things are overlapping. Yeah, and that is not supposed to be. So it is going to help you check for whatever is lacking, and you can be able to adjust whatever it is you need to adjust. So as you can see, we have these things overlapping here. So you can just click on exist preview mode to edit whatever it is you see it's not placing right. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this video over here because it's a lot. Then I'm going to drag this form down here. Yeah. Then I am going to remove this section here. Yeah, I just want a simple landing page. Actually, I'm supposed to add this button again, but just for tutorial sake, I'm just going to add this in here. So when you adjust whatever it is you want to adjust, you are going to click on preview again. So when you click on preview, it is going to show you how it is going to look like on your desktop, and you can also see how it is going to look like on your mobile. So make sure to check for mobile also, because most people check landing pages through mobile, and as you can see, we have, yeah, it's kind of scattered on the mobile also. Yeah, it's kind of scattered on the mobile. So I'm just going to go over to mobile. After going back to the editor page, I'm going to go into mobile, and I am going to rearrange and redesign the mobile page. Please, this step is actually very important, because you can create a very nice landing page that is showing up perfectly on your desktop, and when people go through it on mobile, it just is a mess. So you just have to make sure that you are redesigning the mobile page. So I'm just going to do that very quickly. Um, so the first thing I want to show is this image over here, and it is too big. So I need to reduce this, and I need to place it up. Yeah. So I need to reduce this a bit. Then I need to add in this text. Then I need to add in that form. This is so far away. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm on the way. Yeah, so you can decide to remove this form, this button if you want, but let's just leave it in there. So as you can see, we have edited this, and yeah, this link also, this divider, sorry, you can add that here. Yeah, as you can see, our mobile page is kind of smaller and kind of neater. Yeah, so after you've added the mobile page, and you've added everything you need to add, you make sure that it is looking very okay on your mobile page. Then you can decide to preview again. So when you preview, you can preview on desktop and mobile. So now this is for desktop, it's looking okay. And now when we preview for mobile, let's see how that looks like. Yeah, it is okay now. Yeah, so after making sure that this is okay, you can click on exist preview mode. Now we also want to set up our thank you page, and do not forget that also you can add different pages if you want. So you go to pages, then you can create a new page. When you create a new page, it is going to create a an entirely blank page for you where you can just okay, let's try that. So when you click on create a new page, you can add in a blank page, and you can also add in their pre-made templates. Okay, so as you can see, we can add in a blank page if that is what you want, and we can add in all of these templates in here. As you can see, they have a lot of templates you can actually choose from. So you can pick any of this and you can just go with that. So I do not want to add a blank page, so I'm just going to go back and I'm going to edit my thank you page. So for my thank you page, you are going to click on the thank you page. It's going to lead to your thank you page editor, and now you can be able to edit your thank you page. So you can add in whatever element is it you want to add. Okay, so now in my thank you page editor, I can now add whatever elements I want to add. So I am just going to add a text. Yeah, a text and a button. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add in a text and a button. So you can decide to write whatever it is you want to write in here. So I'm just going to write okay, so I just added thank you for joining the family, and you can decide to change this to whether you want to use title. Oh, I feel that's too big. Okay, so I've added thank you for joining the family, and you can also add a button and just say something like so you can also say something like join our Facebook group for the button, and you can just drag this button a bit. Yeah, so after making sure that you've added everything to your landing page, remember that you can also add in the elements we are adding in for the main page. You can do that for the landing page also. You can add in the button, the images, the video, and all of those things for the thank you page also. So you want to make sure that it is looking nice on your desktop and it's also looking nice on your mobile. So when you click on mobile, you make sure you see how it is looking like on your mobile, and as you can see, yeah, it is scattered again. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this up, or let me drag this down. So for the mobile, I'm going to reduce this font a bit. Okay, so after making sure your thank you page is okay on mobile, then you can just go back to your desktop and just make sure you did not change anything on the desktop again. Yeah, I knew it was going to change it. Yeah, so after making sure that the desktop and the mobile is okay, then you can click on preview. So you preview your thank you page and see how it looks like, and if you're okay with it, then you can click on exit preview. But before we launch, I missed something and I just want to quickly go back to it. So when we went to our pages and we went to the first page, which is index. Okay, so you know how the first page we did not add a header and we did not add a footer. I that skipped my mind, sorry. So I'm just going to add in a pre-made header, and you can be able to edit it whichever way you want. So this is an header we can use. So let's just add this section in here. And as you can see, it added our logo and it added the phone, you can decide to just take off this, or you can decide to reduce it, whichever one you want. And you can decide to edit this text and change your phone number and add whatever it is you want to add. And also for the footer, I'm just going to add a pre-made footer. I just want something simple. Let's use this. So as you can see, it has added this footer, and also you can be able to change this footer and edit it to whatever it is you want. You can change the background color. You can, if you want to add the background image, you can do that. And yeah, just do all of these settings and you are good to go. So now I need to preview again to see if it is looking nice. And yeah, it is okay. So I just need to drag this a little bit. So after making all of those adjustments you have made, you want to check again and see how it is looking on your on the preview page. You know what? I'm just going to take away this. So after checking the preview and you see how it looks like in your preview page, you can also check again if you want to delete some things or if you want to remove some things. So after making sure that everything is okay, now you can click on launch. And when you click on launch, it is going to ask you if you want to publish now. So you can click on publish now. And when you click on publish now, your page has been published. Okay, so now as you can see, we have our link here. After publishing, you can see that we have our link. Then you can copy this and you can paste it to your landing. You can paste it to your email for people to sign up to get the free ebook, or you can paste it on your website, wherever it is you want to paste it. You can also connect your domain, and you can connect if you have a domain and you want to connect that domain to this landing page, you can click on connect, but I do not have a domain. So also you can embed this landing page on whatever it is you want to embed it. You can embed it on your website. And you know how we embedded form for iframe. um if you do not know how to do it, you can just go back to the form lesson and you can see how this iframe is embedded. That is the same way you are going to embed this landing page to whatever page is it you want to embed the page on. And after making sure that you are unpublished, you can also check again and just click on the link and it's going to take you to the landing page and you can see how your landing page look like. I'm sorry, this landing page looks a little bit ugly, but it's just for tutorial sake.